So this was more of a thought rambling I had around the beginning of this year. I tweeted about it January 4th, it got a lot of traction on Twitter, and while I'm tweeting about it and talking to others about it, I thought, wait, I can make a video out of this. Yeah, let me extend this to a video. Not a super serious thing, nothing too grand or a major issue or whatever, just some thoughts running through my head. So if any of this discussion seems or feels haphazard or half-baked, I apologize. But imagine some of the wilder Mario games out there. Super Mario Galaxy, chucking Mario into space, giving Mario all these wacky and insane levels to go through, making him tasked to save the entire universe with all this orchestral, epic, dramatic music, having Rosalina as a new character, giving her this sad, depressing backstory, something Mario rarely ever does, Paper Mario the Thousand-Year Door, putting Mario in this rundown city filled with criminals, gaining a partner where he lost his wife while at sea, and is trying to come to grips with that and his passion as a sailor before joining your party, the final battle where Mario is fighting a literal demon to save the world, Super Paper Mario elevating that scale where Mario, Peach, Luigi, and Bowser save the multiverse from destruction due to a complicated dilemma of a couple who are restricted from being together, the Origami King with Bobby's entire character arc, Mario Strikers with this gritty, aggressive style and gameplay, Super Mario Odyssey putting Mario in a New York-like city with realistic humans walking about next to Mario, narratively, atmospherically, in the context of gameplay, just all these creative, innovative, and or really entertaining ideas and shifts that weren't common for Mario. Events, ideas, and scenarios many regarded that didn't feel like Mario at all, yet were some of the biggest reasons and contributors for a ton of people out there that see these games as some of their absolute favorite Mario games ever, some defining the peak of what makes Mario so entertaining or even so cool. The ideas, these games, and the examples I listed off were great and creative, the execution paid off a lot more than otherwise, and a ton of people love it whenever Mario does stuff quote-unquote not Mario-like. And sometime upon the aftermath of the Game Awards 2021, where we got a better look at his upcoming next game, imagine that entire conversation for Sonic, and how it's usually the opposite. Like, Sonic Frontiers got that in-game world reveal trailer showing off the scenery, the world and stuff. Personally, I'm very cautiously optimistic about the project itself until we get more gameplay stuff. I think most people are cautious with this new Sonic game for multiple reasons too, but I've seen a handful of people fear the game's quality and state based on how surreal and realistic the game's setting looks. Bear in mind, I'm very positive it's not a majority out there who feel that, and even if you do, it's fine you're not keen on Sonic in realistic settings. It could just be a matter of preference, but it's the general idea of people jumping ship from the game solely based on the setting or slight teeter towards some creative or realistic angle the game may have that I'm trying to highlight. Because that idea some have for Frontiers made me reflect on past Sonic games, and Sonic's been through that exact conversation since the early to mid-2000s. Some dislike the idea of Sonic roaming around indie cities with people in them, whether to the same realistic lengths of 06 or Adventure's human designs, or Unleashed's middle ground being more cartoony and evoking more of that Pixar flavor. Some also dislike the treasure hunting stages and mech stages from the adventure titles, plenty in just the execution of the general styles and facets of that style, which makes a lot of sense. But some also just simply dislike them because it's not like Sonic or Shadow stages, and they're just a different style altogether. Same for the Werehog. Even when it has gameplay and execution faults, some disregard it for simply being too different or too weird. The same for Black Knight, where Sonic has a sword, or Sonic Adventure 2's story being so wild or crazy, with Shadow, his backstory, giving Sonic all these demigods to battle as bosses in multiple Sonic games, having all of Sonic's friends in a game at all, a la Heroes, or the adventure titles or 06, etc. And I'm just sitting here for a couple months thinking, we're still having this conversation? Like, just because Sonic does something mechanically or narratively different, we still have people who want to write it off as automatically bad? I'm not talking the execution of said ideas. That's an added layer I usually dive into more times than otherwise with any Sonic and non-Sonic game, but I mean just having the idea present at all, and it gets rejected, right? And before I go any further, let me clarify once again, It can very well be a simple matter of preference or something greater when I'm talking about these judgments others formed. Some of you out there just simply do not prefer whenever Sonic is put in a realistic setting like the adventure titles or Unleashed. You might prefer the more subdued or less grounded takes and locations and stories of heroes, colors, and such. Conversely, there are those who greatly want Sonic to be more grounded in these realistic worlds and take on more creative and unique and crazier styles of gameplay and stories like Unleashed, the adventure style, or Black Knight, story or gameplay again. If there's one thing that's unbelievably true about Sonic, his games, and his fans, more than a large chunk of other gaming series out there, it's that mileage varies so much with Sonic. You'll have plenty of fans for plenty of games, regardless of whether they're generally loved or despised. That's the case with any game and series and IP out there, ever. But with Sonic, it's a lot more apt than most others. For as many people who've ran into the ground how unpolished and not fun 06 is, there's been more and more people, lately especially, who adore vanilla 06, with or without Project 06 in that conversation. Same for Unleashed, Secret Rings, Adventure, Adventure 2, Black Knight, Colors, Sonic Boom, Fire and Ice, vice versa, etc. It's all opinions and they're formed via multiple reasons and experiences at the end of it for most people out there. The main focus I'm talking about, trying to put any creative or realistic spin onto Sonic in almost any way, isn't trying to denounce or scoff at the nitty-gritty. A lot of opinions and summations about the Blue Blur and his games are made by the largest sum of Sonic fans. And not only that, I'm always an advocate for that critical side even when trailers drop. The entire point of a trailer for any game is to give an opinion, get a feel for what that game may have and be like. You're judging the product based on promotional material the company provides. That's the entire point of a trailer, and the negative criticism and discussion surrounding said product and trailer, especially with the proper reasoning, holds just as much validity and fair game as any hyper positivity for that product. It visually looks a little underwhelming or not up to snuff with the base game if it's DLC. The level design looks off or lacking. The characters feel stiff or unpolished in this scene with this move they're doing or whatever, etc. There's a lot of value in criticism, and criticism is made of both positive and negative, not specifically the latter. But starting back at Frontiers and expanding to other Sonic games, it's that some feel the game's not worth salvaging or getting excited for because it looks more realistic or whatever. And it just makes me feel bad. People made these blank statements regarding Sonic games for over a decade now. Reviewers, other YouTubers and content creators, game media outlets, other Sonic and even non-Sonic fans writing off the treasure hunting, the triple character gameplay Heroes has, the Werehog, having multiple Sonic characters playable in a Sonic game, Sonic Adventure 2 story, Unleashed story, etc. for simply just being different or not the norm. Again, not everyone, I doubt it's a majority case with most of these games, especially as time passes, but it feels like it's always Sonic getting these blanket statements and instant write-offs before that idea can even get itself off the ground, and it's just annoying seeing it pop up again and again over and over. I used Mario as an example at the beginning, but you can use a lot of other series as an example too. Zelda, Kirby, Metroid, Kid Icarus, Crash Bandicoot, Resident Evil, Uncharted, Street Fighter, Persona, etc. Gameplay, story, ideas, mechanics, etc. They usually get easily accepted and praised out of the gate, whether for multiple reasons or little to none at all. And every once in a while when a new Sonic game comes, it's the opposite. Now, I understand. Don't get me wrong, I understand why some immediately harp on Sonic out of the gate in these instances, but sometimes it just feels like a handful of people don't even want the little guy to just try and either expand on some style, take it in a different direction, or do something completely different that could pan out well. Before I dive into my own personal thoughts on the matter, I mentioned with Mario how it's the ideas being creative and cool, the execution paying off, and people adoring them, and those games as a result, that middle part is why most people are at the very least hesitant with Sonic. The execution is why people are quick to judge Sonic in a ton of avenues and ways, and for good reason. The treasure hunting in SA2 has good execution and controls and most levels designs, but fumbles with some of the later levels and how the radar operates in that game. The Werehog's a creative idea, but is bogged down by an absurd number of enemy hordes you have to fight to progress, and very slow platforming in between that the pacing fluctuates, etc. That genuine critical makeup of why people like or dislike these styles, settings, and stories or games is that type of criticism that should be focused on and spread more than otherwise for obvious reasons. And to me, Sonic Frontiers, for example, is a game I'm cautious of because of Sonic Team themselves and to an extent Sega. Their output and overall quality and enjoyment with Sonic this past decade has been all over the place. To me, they had games like Unleashed Colors and Generations that were great, then Lost World, which I very much dislike, then the Boom spin-off games, which ended up being very poor games as a result of Sega's improper communications with Big Red Button, then Mania, which was outsourced to a different team almost altogether, and was an amazing game, and then Forces, which even for the 4 years it was being developed, still felt unpolished and underwhelming for several reasons. It's hard for me and plenty others to put stock in Sonic Team and Sega because their quality control with Sonic when it comes to his game specifically is all over the place. And I think that's a fair assessment to make. The way they've revealed very little gameplay itself for Frontiers thus far, yet announced the game almost an entire year ago, implying some mixed signals with how confident they are in the game, or how far along they are in the development and polish of it, that's also completely fair. But just grading it as a pass or fail based on how realistic it may or may not be, or if there is a new idea or not present, to me, just feels a little haphazard, especially when we've yet to get proper gameplay. If you're iffy on Frontiers or dislike previous games for going some route you're not as keen on, that's fine. What I say isn't going to stop a specific person from feeling this way either. But it is annoying, I feel, Sonic's still being met with the same weird gatekeeping disapproval since the mid-2000s, extending off why people are iffy on Sonic anything to any degree. That creative or crazy step forward for the series was supposed to be 06, and we all plainly know, by this point at least, hopefully, the reaction and continuing thoughts and feelings many people have on that game. But at the same time, not only is it a dead horse in reinstating how 06 isn't a good game, it's not even like 06 had many ideas or concepts that were flawed out of the gate. The structure of the gameplay, the levels, the level design, etc. It was an expansion of the adventure formula. And if they polished up that gameplay, regardless of whichever stance you have on the story, I doubt there would have been nearly as many people who would have trashed on 06 nearly as much as that game got. Same for Black Knight, Sonic with a sword, that sounds cool as hell to me, and if that gameplay and gameplay style got reworked and redone, Black Knight could legit have been one of the best Sonic games as well. Or even with games that have mixed reception. Unleashed Werehog, for example, that's a gameplay style I personally like, and can come to grips with the flaws it has, but it's also a style that provides a unique style to Sonic, has layers and various ways to fight enemies, and has entertainment value in those extended combos if you want to dig a little deeper. Similarly for the treasure hunting and mech stages, who fit the characters that make up those styles, and provide strength to the games and narratives they make up in multiple ways. Or how Shadow is a character and his entire story in Adventure 2, same for Gerald Robotnik and Maria, SA2's entire story basically. Or Sonic fighting this massive god of destruction made of water, taking out a hideous looking demigod of darkness, being himself with this talking sword, and preventing this woman that tricked him from creating an eternal world. Even Sonic just running around a lush, realistic landscape or city, etc. To me at least, a lot of that does look and feel like Sonic to me, and in a satisfying way, and is what makes Sonic and Sonic games cool and appealing. And this is just ignoring a larger sum of those deeper constructs, facets, and details regarding stuff surrounding gameplay, stories, and such of these multiple Sonic games. I'm fairly sure the one thing people want out of Sonic games is consistent quality output. I've stated this kind of thing before. Not even just consistent ideas or something, just consistently good games. Something like Mario or Zelda have gotten away with so many different ideas, mechanics, tweaks, stories, and changes to either their formulas and norms because of how strong their quality output is. Multiple Sonic games have incorporated those varying ideas and styles, gameplay, stories, and whatnot, and are met in the grand scheme with a huge breadth of success and failure across Sonic's own fans. Mileage varies much harder with Sonic than most other franchises out there, but to get a Sonic game that is a great one, followed by another, I feel is the one constant most are begging the series obtains. It's hard for me to jump on the very hype or very disappointed ship, or middle ground ship, of Frontiers until we see more of it, gameplay, story, etc. I personally adore multiple Sonic games that try those weird or zany ideas Sonic has, and in several ways, deliver and fail in that execution anyways. It basically is that line between concept/idea and execution I'm trying to distinguish more than anything with this video, and I'm only a little bit annoyed still seeing people call Sonic games bad solely for the idea/concept alone, and even without the execution in some cases. Cause heaven forbid Mario messes with anti-gravity or Zelda goes fully open world, then it's instantly belly up just because it's a new idea for Sonic or Sonic tries it too. I hope Frontiers ends up being a good game and all, but I'm more open to the idea of proper discussion and criticism of Sonic and Sonic games, whether pre-release material or post-release, talk more about the execution and other details and facets that make up either the story or the gameplay more than just the base idea, you know what I mean? Again, more of just thoughts rambling in my head when that was a debate on Twitter a few months ago, but yeah. Maybe you got something out of this discussion, maybe you thought it was stupid, or you feel it was a makeup of something greater or whatever, or maybe you just like hearing my voice and hear me talk about Sonic and games I like, I don't know. Just letting my mind run as of late more than anything could also be a big reason why I've pumped out a video every day for a week and a half now. But thank you for watching, thank you for your time, and hopefully you'll consider watching my other content in future videos planned, talking more of and playing other things, Sonic, Mario, and gaming in general. Stay super.